Welcome back, or hello if you're new here. Today I am going to generate a random number, which will correspond to a Sims 4 world. From this, I will choose a house to renovate from that world, only using items from that pack and the base game. So, let's get into it. So it seems like the number I have generated is 12. This corresponds to the cottage living pack, but it may be different in your game, because I don't have all the packs. I mean, who has that kind of money? So I chose 4, Old Mill Lane. It was a very strange house structurally inside and outside. The inside is just so big and empty, and I just hate the color scheme. Here I am trying to find a cottage living wallpaper that would be nice, but I just couldn't really find one that I liked, so I ended up going with a plain wallpaper. The floor was also a little too dark for my liking, so I changed that too. This bathroom was the bane of my existence. It was just very difficult to do, because it was the first room I had done. At this point, I hadn't established a color palette really, so I struggled with finding swatches I liked. I was also very restricted, because of the packs I could use, not being very broad. Looking back, I should have done this later in the build, because I had no idea what I was doing. The rest of the hallway outside of the bathroom was also annoying me. I had absolutely no idea what to do. I was also going to try keep that room next to the hallway, but it ends up becoming a kitchen as you'll see later. Here, I also changed the brick to the smaller version, because I just thought it was ugly. I am not going to lie to you. I think it looks much better like this, and sorry, not sorry if you like this brick. I really struggled with the layout too. I had this idea to have 2 staircases going to the upstairs, which I managed to fit in, but it was a major struggle. Looking back, I have a love-hate relationship with it, because I think it looks nice, but the upstairs was hard to do. Now I'm going to add a fireplace, which is my favorite part of the entire build. This was a great decision on my part. Once again, I am fiddling with the stairs, because stairs are definitely not my strong point. Finally, I got them where I want them to be, but now, the issue was the pillars and their location. I didn't want them to be too crowded, but it was difficult, because I felt the stairs looked silly without them. This weird hallway upstairs also really annoyed, but I wanted to keep the outside the same to challenge myself, but also because I'm also a bit lazy. This is when I noticed the pillars kept going outside upstairs, but not downstairs, and I wanted to cry, so I ignored it until later. Here's me trying to work out a floor plan. I absolutely hate open floor plans, because I find it really difficult to slot things in when the rooms aren't divided. This was especially hard, because the house was so big downstairs. The color scheme on the kitchen was also very strange, but I kind of liked how it stood out. I tried to make it green at first, but I just hated it. I think it strangely works, but I wish The Sims 4 had better swatches. This whole dining room situation also stressed me out. To be honest, this whole build did. However, I think the carpet really brought the whole room together. This ended up being one of my most favorite parts of the home. I love all the pictures and bookcases. This is me, again, struggling with the color scheme. This part was also very difficult, because the base game and Cottage Living don't have the best carpets. I also didn't want to reuse the one I used for the dining table. Thus, I had to settle for the round green one, but I think it worked out well. The living room was also very difficult, because I had to work around the stairs being right in the middle of it. However, I really like the furniture I used, and I think it ties it nicely together. I especially like that little woven box with the pillows in it. I had no idea it existed, and I'm so glad I found it. This is why I love doing these challenges, because although they bring me pain and suffering, I start to find items I would have never found before. So, here is where I add a non-functional bench. I wish that The Sims could sit on it, but oh well. At least it looks good for decoration. Here is me, again changing the color scheme, because I am indecisive. I tried to use another Cottage Living wallpaper, but I just felt it didn't fit. So, under the stairs, I decided to add some walls, because I kind of like the closed-off atmosphere. The room is still very open, but I think it separates the living room and dining room well. Now, I had to move to the dreaded upstairs. I kept it relatively the same because I was tired at this point, and I felt like it didn't need to change. major change was the bedroom, but that's because I wanted to bring back some of that yellow from the kitchen. I was struggling with art, because in the base game there wasn't a lot of matching pieces, so I couldn't really use two. Now onto the tour. This is the outside, which I kept the same. I thought the garden was already nice, and I only added some lanterns, to make it a bit nicer. Now we see inside the home. There isn't much to say here, so I am going to take the time to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you like the text-to-speech voice I have added or if you want just the music. Bye bye.